You might have an old 50-cent coin lying around, but did you know that this 1994 Australian coin could be worth up to $100 to the right collector? It's not just a coin, it's a hidden treasure in your pocket. But how do you know if yours is valuable or just ordinary change? In this video, I'll reveal the secrets behind this coin, how to spot a real collectible, and what makes it truly rare. So don't skip, because your forgotten coin might just be worth a small fortune. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I help you discover the hidden value in old coins, notes, and collectibles you might already own. Today, we're diving deep into the story of the 1994 Australian 50-cent coin. What makes it special, how to check if your coin is valuable, and how much it could actually be worth today. Whether you're a collector, a curious coin holder, or just someone who found this in a drawer, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and how not to fall for online scams. Let's get into it. In February 1966, when Australia abandoned pounds, shillings, and pence in favor of decimal currency, the brand new 50-cent coin was a round disc of 80% silver. Within 2 years, silver's market price overtook the coin's face value, so almost all of those shining rounds were withdrawn and melted. To keep a large denomination coin in circulation without losing money, the Royal Australian Mint reintroduced the 50-cent piece in 1969, this time struck in a tougher, cheaper alloy of 75% copper and 25% nickel, cut into an unmistakable 12-sided shape that blind users could recognize instantly. At 31.5 millimeters across the flats and 15.55 grams, it remains the biggest circulating coin in the country and one of the few dodecagonal issues anywhere in the world. Fast forward to 1994. Australia was preparing to mark the United Nations International Year of the Family, and the Mint saw an opportunity to turn an everyday object into a miniature billboard for the theme. Instead of the usual Stuart Devlin coat of arms reverse, engraver Carolyn Rosser created a simple line drawing of 2 parents, 2 children, and the family dog, all linked by a continuous flowing outline that echoed the UN's own event logo. The design spoke quietly but powerfully about unity, protection, and belonging. And because it used only raised outlines on a plain field, it caught the light in a way that made the coin flash like a tiny badge when it moved in your hand. On the obverse, Raphael Maklouf's effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, diadem, earrings, pearl necklace, continued to project the constancy of the crown. Everything else about the piece stayed familiar. The silvery color produced by nickel, the plain edge, the diameter, the comforting weight. Mintage was healthy, just over 20 million pieces, but collectors soon discovered that not every 1994 coin was identical. If you look at the date beneath the Queen's portrait, you may notice the gap between the 2 nines is either wide or narrow. The wide date variety was produced for proof sets, Australia Post collector covers, and a fraction of the general circulation run, roughly 6% of the total, making it substantially scarcer than the narrow date coins that rattled through cash registers across the country. Spotting that extra sliver of space is a thrill for hobbyists. In about uncirculated condition, the narrow date version might fetch only a couple of dollars, but a crisp wide date example, still glossy with original mint luster, can command several times that. The Mint did strike a small number of standard coat of arms 50-cent pieces dated 1994 as well, but those never entered circulation. They were sold only in annual collector sets. Because far fewer were made, the coat of arms 1994 coin can be a sleeper find. If you see the kangaroo and emu reverse on a coin dated 1994, you are looking at something most Australians never encountered in change. Yet paradoxically, proof and uncirculated set coins often remain pristine in their packaging, so scarcity does not always translate into sky-high prices. Condition and eye appeal matter more. A toned proof with rainbow colors around the rims, can excite bidders, while a cloudy or fingerprinted piece may struggle. Collectors love this coin for tactile reasons, too. The copper-nickel alloy gives it a muted gray-silver glow rather than the icy whiteness of pure silver. And after 30 years in pockets, the high points, Queen Elizabeth's cheekbone, the dog's nose, tend to wear into satiny patches that catch diffused light. A freshly struck proof, by contrast, shows mirror-like fields and frosted devices, turning the family motif into a miniature cameo. Either way, that warm, silvery hue is unique to copper-nickel. You can feel the difference when you hold it against a modern steel-plated coin which rings higher and feels lighter. Every collector's journey with the 1994 50-cent coin should begin with observation, not polishing. Under a desk lamp and a 10x loupe, study the rim. The dodecagon's edges should be sharp, not rounded. Examine the family's outlines. Any doubled lines may indicate a minor die shift, boosting value. Tilt the coin to see whether the fields still flash. Cartwheel luster is a sure sign of minimal circulation. Finally, check alignment. Place the coin on one flat side and spin it. If the reverse picture is noticeably rotated, you might possess a rare mint error worth far more than the standard varieties. Trust is everything in numismatics, and sadly the internet teems with inflated claims and outright fakes. Beware listings that use dramatic headlines but provide only blurry photos. Always insist on clear, well-lit images of both sides and the edges. Cross-reference asking prices with recent realized sales on reputable auction platforms or catalogs. If a seller refuses basic questions about weight and diameter, walk away. Never clean a coin to make it look better. Tiny hairlines from an innocent rub can slice its collector value in half, and professionals will spot the damage instantly. When you buy, stick to recognized dealers or sellers who offer return policies. Professional numismatists, guild members, and major Australian auction houses guarantee authenticity and grade, and they will explain the difference between circulation strikes, uncirculated set strikes, and proofs, so you know exactly what you are getting. If you ever decide to sell, the same rule applies. Credible buyers pay credible prices. A graded example in an independent slab from PCGS or NGC may cost a little to certify, but the plastic capsule and serial number lock in trust, widening the pool of potential buyers worldwide. Why does this humble half-dollar fascinate so many people 3 decades on? Because it captures a moment. The early 1990s saw Australia debating economic reform, the place of the monarchy, and the shape of society. The International Year of the Family theme invited citizens to think about support structures beyond government policy. Rosser's outline, drawing, devoid of facial detail, lets every viewer imagine their own family in that embrace. Maclouf's Queen reminds us that national stories sit within a longer Commonwealth narrative. Combined with the coin's distinctive geometry, the 1994 issue turns everyday metal into a time capsule you can hold, jingle, and pass along. Keep one example tucked away, even if it is only pocket-worn. Future generations may look back at Queen Elizabeth's long reign or at 12-sided coins that were eventually replaced by lighter alloys and wonder how common objects once felt. And who knows? As pristine pieces vanish into collections and damaged ones head to the smelter, today's ordinary 50 cents could become tomorrow's sought-after survivor. Proof that value is often hiding in plain sight, just waiting for a curious eye to notice. You see, in 1994, 2 variations of this 50-cent coin were released, one with a narrow date and one with a wide date. The difference is small, just the spacing between the numbers in 1994, but it makes all the difference in the collecting world. The narrow date is common, found in pocket change or in coin jars across Australia. But the wide date? That's the one that gets people excited. It's believed to make up only around 6% of the total mintage, making it a true rarity. And when a coin is both emotionally meaningful and statistically rare, its value skyrockets. Collectors hunt for the wide-date version like treasure. It doesn't scream valuable to the untrained eye, but to those who know what to look for, it's a sleeper hit. That's why prices on the market vary wildly depending on what you have and what condition it's in. A circulated narrow-date coin might sell for a modest $2 to $5, hardly life-changing. But an uncirculated, mint-condition wide date? That's where things get interesting. Online, there have been real, verifiable listings where this coin has commanded prices of $30, $50, even over $100. But one listing stood out. A seller on eBay listed a confirmed wide-date 1994 50-cent coin for A500, about USD $330. Whether it sold at that price or not, it revealed something vital. In the right context, to the right buyer, this coin can be worth exponentially more than its face value. Proof sets from the Royal Australian Mint that include the wide-date coin can also fetch upwards of $40, depending on condition and packaging. That's a huge leap for a coin most people wouldn't glance at twice. So what drives that kind of value? It's not just rarity, it's trust. Collectors want authenticity, provenance, and detail. They want to see high-resolution photos. They want coins that are graded or come in original sets with paperwork. They want transparency from sellers, clear descriptions, honest conditions, and ideally, verified third-party grading. If you're selling one, building trust is everything. Be honest, be detailed, and show what makes the coin special. It also helps to tap into the emotional aspect of the coin. This isn't just a lump of metal, it's a memory of 1994 of global. Messages about family and unity. It was designed by a real person, drawn by the hand of a child. Every time someone picks up one of these coins, they're holding a message from the past. A tiny sculpture of values we still hold dear. That kind of meaning resonates deeply with collectors, especially those who prize not just rarity, but sentiment. For buyers and collectors, the 1994 50-cent coin is still accessible. The hunt for a wide date in the wild is like a modern treasure hunt. It's thrilling to imagine that the right coin could be sitting in your change tray. And even if you don't find one, there's a growing online market where you can purchase verified wide-date coins or mint sets directly from trusted dealers. But remember, the key to maximum value is condition. Coins that are scratched, worn, or corroded won't fetch top dollar, even if they're wide dates. On the other hand, coins that are sharp, lustrous, and well-preserved, especially those that have never been circulated, can unlock significant returns. And when paired with documentation or third-party certification from respected grading companies like PCGS or NGC, the value increases even more. It's rare in life that something so small, so ordinary, can quietly hold so much worth. The 1994 Australian 50-cent coin is one of those rare exceptions, a coin born from a message of love and unity, elevated by rarity, and propelled by collector passion into the world of true value. Whether you're buying, selling, or just curious, this coin proves that history, heart, and hidden details can turn spare change into something truly special. So the next time you see a 50-cent coin from 1994, look closer. Measure the date. Examine the spacing. You might just be holding a piece of art, a slice of history, and a hidden investment, all in one. In the ever-evolving world of coin collecting, there are some coins that slip under the radar of the general public, yet steadily gain momentum among collectors. The 1994 Australian 50-cent coin is one such gem. At first glance, it looks like just another ordinary piece of change. But in 2025, this coin has become something far more interesting, a subtle blend of nostalgia, symbolism, rarity, and unexpected value. To the uninformed, it may seem like just another coin tossed into the bottom of a drawer. But for those who know its story, this small disc of metal holds an increasing allure, and in some cases a surprising price tag, issued to commemorate the United Nations International Year of the Family. The 1994 Australian 50-cent coin carries with it more than just monetary value. it tells a story. The design on the reverse, crafted by Carolyn Rosser, features a charming, almost whimsical image of a family, as if drawn by a child. 3 figures standing beneath a roof, arms outstretched in unity and protection. This is a coin with heart, speaking to the human desire for connection, care, and home. On the obverse, Queen Elizabeth II is depicted in the familiar style of Raphael Makhlouf, anchoring it in the regal tradition of Commonwealth coinage. Together, the coin offers both emotional and national significance, making it a memorable piece. In Australian numismatics, but what has truly driven up interest in 2025 is not just its sentimental appeal, but the small, precise detail that separates one version of this coin from another, the spacing of the digits in the year 1994. There are 2 known varieties, the narrow date and the wide date. The narrow date version is what most people have seen or handled, but it's the wide date, produced in far fewer numbers, estimated to be only around 6% of total mintage, that is capturing serious attention from collectors this year. The difference may be subtle to the untrained eye. In the narrow date version, the numbers 1 to 9 to 94 are spaced close together, almost touching. But in the wide date variety, there is visible space between each digit, giving the year a stretched or open appearance. This tiny variation has huge implications. In the world of coin collecting, rarity is everything. Combine that with a strong backstory and public affection, and you get a coin whose value far exceeds its humble origins. As we move through 2025, market values for the 1994 Australian 50-cent coin continue to rise, especially for the rare wide date variant in uncirculated or mint condition. Regular circulated examples of the narrow date typically sell between AU120 and AU5 depending on their condition. These coins are common and, while attractive to casual collectors, don't usually draw high prices. However, when a coin is uncirculated, meaning it has never been used in everyday transactions and retains its full luster, things change dramatically. Uncirculated examples of the 1994 coin, particularly the wide date variant, are consistently selling online for AU25 to AU60 depending on presentation and provenance. In some cases, where the coin is part of a Royal Australian Mint uncirculated set, especially one with clear documentation or sealed packaging, collectors are seeing prices closer to $100. Some listings have reached even higher. Notably, one uncirculated wide date coin was listed in early 2025 for $120, and another eBay seller posted theirs for $500. Though that price is speculative and aimed at top-end collectors. Of course, not every coin will achieve those heights. Much depends on condition, provenance, and timing. A coin that has been mishandled, scratched, or tarnished, no matter how rare, won't command the same attention or value. On the flip side, a coin that's pristine, especially one graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC, becomes a highly attractive asset. The wide date coin with professional certification confirming its rarity and grade can enter a whole different market, one where prices aren't just based on collectors' passion, but on investment-grade standards. What's fascinating in 2025 is how public awareness is driving both demand and value. With platforms like TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram, numismatics has found a younger and more engaged audience. Short videos showcasing rare coin finds, especially ones pulled from everyday change, go viral regularly. The 1994 50-cent wide date coin has featured in several of these videos, with creators explaining the difference and encouraging viewers to check their coin jars. The idea that something so ordinary could hold hidden value resonates with people of all ages. This social buzz is having a real impact on market prices as more people look to secure a piece of the action. This year has also seen increased auction activity around this coin. Specialist Australian coin dealers have reported a surge in demand for uncirculated 1994 50-cent coins, particularly those authenticated with the wide date variety. While many sales are occurring on online marketplaces like eBay and Etsy, where prices can fluctuate rapidly, formal auctions and professional dealers are beginning to list the coin in their catalogs with starting prices well above AU $50. Some sets that include the 1994 coin as part of a commemorative year collection are listed for AU $80 to AU $150, with strong interest from buyers both in Australia and abroad. All of this confirms what experienced collectors already know. The value of a coin is not just in its metal content or its face value, but in its story, its rarity, and its condition. The 1994 50-cent coin tells a deeply human story. It came into circulation to mark a global movement toward recognizing and protecting the family unit. Over 30 years later, it has become a symbol of rarity and investment for those who understand the nuances of its minting history. If you're holding on to a 1994 50-cent coin, now is the time to take a closer look. Examine the spacing in the date. If it looks wider than usual, you could be holding something more than just spare change. And if the coin still glows with mint luster, your odds of tapping into the coin's true market potential go up considerably. In 2025, people are paying attention and paying top dollar for these little pieces of history. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a curious beginner, the 1994 Australian 50-cent coin offers both a rewarding search and a potentially valuable discovery. Sometimes the smallest things tell the richest stories, and occasionally they pay well too. So what does this mean for you? If you're holding a 1994 Australian 50-cent coin, or even a few, now is the perfect time to act. Take them out of the HR drawer. Inspect the date. Look closely at the spacing between the numbers. If you discover the wide date variety, especially in excellent condition, you may be sitting on something worth far more than 50 cents. You could be holding a coin that collectors are actively chasing, a piece of history that has quietly gained value with time. Don't underestimate the importance of condition. If your coin appears uncirculated or you have it as part of a mint set, consider having it appraised or even graded. Certified coins not only sell faster, they often sell for significantly more. And if you're thinking of selling, be smart. Take high-quality photos, be honest about the condition, and clearly highlight whether your coin is the wide or narrow date version. Transparency builds trust, and trust builds value. For collectors, now is the time to add this coin to your portfolio before prices climb further. As social media spreads awareness and demand rises, the 1994 50-cent coin, especially the wide date variant, will likely become harder to find and more expensive to acquire. The market is already reflecting this trend, and those who act early will reap the rewards. So check your change, search your drawers, open those old coin folders you haven't touched in years. What looks like ordinary pocket money might just be an undervalued treasure. Whether you keep it, collect it, or sell it, the 1994 Australian 50-cent coin reminds us that small things can carry big meaning and surprising worth. Now's your moment. Start the search, join the hunt, and if you find one, especially a wide date in mint condition, hold it proudly. You've just uncovered a quiet icon of Australian numismatic history.